Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Healing Waters Podcast, Journey Out of Abusive Relationships. And if you are new to the channel, thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe to this video. Well, this channel is pretty much about a journey that I took out of abusive relationships, a spiritual journey that I took, and by the grace of God, I was delivered from a lot of strongholds, codependency, things of that nature. But I wrote a book to give just some context to what I went through. And thank you for joining. Today, we are going to discuss the poem called Inner Child. And if you would like to purchase this book, the link is in the description. So thank you once again. And I will go over the poem and just give you guys an overview of how I felt during this time. I'll go down line by line and just give you guys some context, and hopefully you guys could connect with this poem. And I do pray that whatever situation that you are going through, that you will see God in the midst of it and find your way out of whatever situation you have going on, marriage, relationship. This could even be with friends as well. So let's dive into it. This poem is called Inner Child. Of a love I once wished for. So yes, I could attest sometimes in adulthood, you look for love in all the wrong places, right? You look for love in the wrong places, and you look for individuals to fill a void, right, within you. Is a love I do lack. So even when you are in the midst of these relationships, you don't feel the love that you longed for. You don't feel the love that you so desperately need. Confused in days, I float down swells of nostalgia. So I say this because a toxic or manipulative individual could mask they could mask the fantasies and things that you want, the things that you like. And depending on how vulnerable you are and how much you express to a toxic and or manipulative individual, they can become that thing that you so desperately want. And so once this person becomes that thing that you so desperately want, it does send you down those paths of nostalgia. It's like, oh, I like this, or, oh, this person reminds me of this, so you got to be really careful with your vulnerability. In a place where lullabies were calm, yet love was wasteful. This goes out to the individuals who experience abusive, childhoods. So that as well can manifest into your adulthood as well. If you were abused in childhood and you just do not know the implication of love, you don't understand what love is, how are you going to foster healthy relationships when you become an adult? It's like you're lost in a sense, right? I long for what should have been. So once again, if you are coming out of an abusive childhood and things of that nature, you have this, I guess you have this vision of what you want in a relationship, right? But because you are disconnected in understanding what love is and things of that nature, you tend to walk down the wrong paths, right? And you get into these relationships not knowing that this person is, in a lot of times, in need of healing as well. And so you both are toxic to each other. And so that fantasy or that longing or that vision that you created within your heart, within your spirit, it's not there, right? It's not what you thought it was supposed to be. Matured in thinking, yet hanging on the notion of sorrow. And of course, this causes so much sorrow, so much grief. It's like you're grieving the possibility of love, right? Empty places of me float to the top. So yes, you feel empty, right? You invested all this time, all this space, all these emotions. You invested all these things into this person, but you feel empty. There's nothing inside. Should haves become could have. So once again, you have this notion this should have been this, but it's not, right? This could have been this, but it's not. And excuses are perceived lies. I say this because a lot of times when we're in these situations and we see these red flags, we see the abuse, we see all these things before us, sometimes we would make excuses for these individuals, towards like our family members and close friends and things like that. They're just lies. Okay. Resent threatens to pressure me. So now you become resentful, not only to the individual that you're in a relationship with, but to close family members and things around you. You're resentful to them as well. And a lot of times, going back to that childhood inner child, if you've experienced like the lack of love, if you experienced abuse from these like family members, you would look at them like, I'm going through this because of you. I'm going through this because you did not prepare me. I'm going through this because you abused me and I'm confused. I'm going through this because you planted that seed, right? While forgiveness always misunderstands me. So you want to forgive, but it's like, how can I forgive someone or something who did me wrong? How do I get to that place? How do I get there? I want to tell everybody who is listening to this podcast, it is possible for you to get there. I don't know if you listened to previous videos, you have to shed this and I would say, because I dealt with it as well, this like victim mentality that what has occurred to you is like meant to break you, no. I believe that everything that happens to us is for a reason, it's for a purpose. It's going to lead us into like a more purposeful living. You just have to find that seed in whatever you're going through and you have to run with it, right? Whether it's encouraging others, whether it's warning others about these type of individuals, whether it's like preaching forgiveness, whatever it is, right? You went through this particular thing to help comfort someone else. So it says, my visions are stalked by cheerful merry-go-rounds and the smell of blossom buttercups. So yes, this goes out to the individuals who didn't necessarily go through the childhood trauma and abuse and things of that nature, but it goes out to the individuals that think of those happier times. And like I said, I can even attest to it. Like I said, I mean, I didn't have like the perfect childhood, but there were like instances where it was like, oh, like I have a really good childhood. Like I am so grateful for this moment, for these like seasons within my childhood, because it's beautiful, right? And I know like even outside of like manipulative relationships, we would come to a point like, I miss my childhood. Like I miss the simpler times, I miss when I could just be my authentic self. I miss the simplicity of childhood, the joy of childhood. Disguised and folded in, my memories of bliss are intertwined with cold deserts of hate. So yes, like I just said, if we are reminiscing on the better times, like this is what I used to have, this is what life is supposed to be, this is cheerful, this is bliss, this is joy, my heart is filled with joy, and now you're going through a season of your life where you are like, you hate it. You know what I mean? You're looking back at your former self like, it's possible for me to experience love. It's possible for me to be happy again. It's possible for me to smile. It's possible for me to just be bright. And you're comparing it to where you are now. It's like, what happened? That could cause like depression in itself, because it's like, I know I'm capable of receiving this, but what happened? Where did I go wrong? What did I walk down a wrong path? Like, what did I do? Right? And then it says, ripple crystal streams of harsh words become pools of confusion. So then this person is like manipulating you. This person is gaslighting you. It's very harsh. It's very abusive. It's very abrasive, like to your spirit. But like you're confused, because it's like, you say you love me, but then you turn around and you hurt me and you're so hateful towards me. Like, what is this? What is this dynamic? And that's what makes these, like if you are in an abusive relationship and it's like that, you're swaying back and forth. Like we have to get to a point where you're able to like break that cord of, because it is confusion, right? Because if somebody says that they love you, they're going to treat you with respect. They're going to honor you. They're going to like sacrifice for you. There's so much complexities of love, right? They're not going to abuse you physically, mentally, and emotionally. They're not going to cause you heartache and all of these other things that come with, abuse, these abusive cycles. So we have to really like ask ourselves, like, do I know what love is? Is this love? Right? In ripened cotton fields of abuse, I can no longer run free. So then you feel like you can't run free. You feel trapped. I also say this because for those individuals who have coming out of like very traumatizing childhoods, you would get to a point where, because you did not like mature emotionally, or sometimes even mature mentally, you don't know how to run free. It's like when the abuse occurs, like the heavy abuse occurs, you kind of retreat to this space of this space of loneliness, this space of, I don't want to say loneliness per se, but it's this space of like the happier times when you were a child. You retreat there. It's like a defense mechanism. But when you retreat to that place, right, you are like, from a spiritual, emotional, and physical standpoint, you are thinking like a child. You don't know how to proceed forward. Right. And then it says, I am stuck in between hopeful, happy places and quiet storms. So yes, there's some instances where you can see like speckles of hope, right? There's like a glimpse of hope. There's a glimpse of like the light at the end of the tunnel. And then the quiet storms represent, even though you see the light at the end of the tunnel, the abuse is still happening. So it's like, I have hope and I can see the light, but I'm still here in this situation. I'm living with this person. I have children with this person. I have to co-parent with this person. So what do I do? But that is the poem, guys. Thank you guys for joining and listening in. I will be coming out with next week's poem. It's called Pools of Confusion. Please tune in. Hopefully this helped you guys emotionally process what you are going through. And if you are going through like an abusive situation, please like do your best to make a plan, seek safety, reach out to domestic violence advocates. There's like nonprofit organizations, I'm sure, are in, the cities that you are in. Reach out to them for further support. I know each and everybody's situation is different. It's different. No one's situation is the same. Like I said, some individuals are still cohabitating. Some individuals are co-parenting and things of that nature. So definitely seek support. God bless you. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.